Hi, I'm Dr. Anita McLaughlin, a transformational counselor, podcaster, mentor, chaplain, author, and entrepreneur. And I want you to remember this. They're diamonds in you. The diamonds of your life are produced through time, heat, and pressure. The cut, clarity, and size, or the characteristics of your life's experience will determine how you're going to use them. And the way that you use them has very great value. There are truly diamonds in you. We've been talking for the past couple of broadcasts about, in essence, that point of becoming. I said becoming is a process, and a process has stages. And we are all in the process of becoming who or what we would like to be. We talked a little bit about deconstructing our belief systems. And I told you that be careful, because sometimes we're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. While we're in this process of becoming, we also have to really challenge ourselves. Why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? It's a part of that evaluation that we need in order to prosper and be in health as our mind, will, and emotions prosper. We really do have to ask ourselves why, because many times our ideas have never been challenged. And because our ideas have never been challenged, we may be operating in another behavior that's not going to take you where you have to go. Part of why we meditate, to get still and listen to that connection, that still small voice when we're looking for guidance and the direction that we should go in. We have to get still. We have to get quiet enough to do that. And many times there's so much noise around us. And I don't mean noise as in cars, horns blowing, or kids running, or although those things can be noisy, but simply that we have not quieted ourselves enough to be able to listen within to determine the direction that we need to go. Sometimes we're looking for the creator to get on our page, and we don't have a page. We're looking to manipulate as opposed to be guided by that which is greater than we are. One of the ways that I was able to change my life is that I recognized that I did not have the answers that I needed, that they lay outside of the realm of my experiences at that point in life. And I needed to sit down and learn something. I needed to be quiet and listen. There was a wise man, he said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth because we're supposed to listen more than we talk. Talking about even relationships. Did you know that sometimes you're not listening? You're waiting for your turn to speak and you're not listening. One of the great skills of chaplaincy is to learn how to listen, and to learn how to listen without an ulterior motive. We did what were called verbatims during my residency as a chaplain. And what that was designed to do was to focus your attention to the point that you could recreate a conversation after it had taken place without notes. So you would go in, speak with a person, and listen to that person. And I learned to develop the skill of listening. I practiced that looking at movies, being able to understand the plot line, because I wasn't so scattered in my thinking until I missed what was going on. And if there is something that I need to do, stop it, take care of that, and come back and learn to listen. That skill will take you a very long way. learning how to quiet the environment around you, to listen to that which is within you. That is what meditation does. It teaches you how to quiet your mind, to still the noises that are around you, and to listen. So I want you, as you move forward, to begin to pay attention to the noise, not in your environment, but the noise in your head. I want you very much to challenge the limiting ideas and concepts that you've had. You know, I talk to people all the time and they're still telling me, I don't like broccoli. I don't like this. I don't like that. So, well, have you tried any lately? Like, no, I don't eat that. I don't want that. It's like, well, maybe you should try it, because stuff, there's different recipes and things have changed. And I came to understand that when we make those types of decisions, particularly about food items, and if you are, and one of your goals is to become more healthy physically, vegetables, is a really good idea to get a little bit more in terms of the servings of vegetables that we eat. But I found out that many times our palate, our taste palate, has been shaped by us by the time we were 4 years old. So by the time you're 4 years old, you've already decided what you like and what you don't like. You like cookies, but you don't like vegetables. You're okay with this, but you don't like that. I don't eat that. I don't like that. And unless we challenge that thought, we literally are letting a 4-year-old run our lives. I want you to look, if you have children or grandchildren or your neighbor's children, or you saw a child sometime going down the street somewhere. I want you to think about that. Would you let your child or grandchild determine what happens in your life? Or would you, as the adult, say, no, this is how we're going to do it? So many times we have never challenged that 4-year-old's opinion on what we need to do and how we need to do it. And because of that, we're not living our best lives, because we have never challenged that limiting belief. Talked to one lady. She said that, I think it was corn. She hated corn. And I gave this very same example about letting a 4-year-old run your life. And she said, I heard you say that. And she said, it made sense. Let me go and see, because I don't even remember why I don't like corn. And she went to a restaurant, decided she was going to have for one of her side dishes corn. And she said, I loved it. I don't know what was holding me back. I don't know why I didn't like corn initially. And most people do like corn. But whatever it was in her 4-year-old that decided that corn was something to be avoided at all cost, when she challenged it, she found out that she felt a lot different. I think that many of the things in our lives, when we challenge them, we'll find out that we feel a lot different about them now. But the key is challenging them. Becoming who you were meant to be is a process, and that process has stages. I told you previously that my life began to open up when I started doing what I hadn't done before. I told you about going to the grocery store. If I was going somewhere, instead of making a right turn, I made a left turn. Instead of making a left turn, I made a right turn. And what happened is that a whole new world opened up for me. The recovery community says that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and thinking you're going to get a different outcome. You have to change up the way that you do things. You have to try it differently. Turn right instead of left and see what happens. Say no instead of yes and see what happens. Try what you hadn't tried. You might like corn, But you have to challenge the limiting behavior in order to get something that you've never had. In order to get what you've never had, you have to do what you've never done. And as you begin to expand your life, you'll find out that you're attracting what you actually want. Sometimes you're asking God, the universe, source, the creator, and you don't even know what you're asking for because you've built it off of a concept that's no longer relevant. But you haven't realized that because you've never challenged that thought. Sometimes the greatest reboot we need to do is right here in our own minds. Sometimes we need to admit, you know what, Dr. Nita, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. And I'm afraid because I don't know what'll happen. And I'll say this to you. I was afraid at one point in my growth and development and in my becoming. When I realized, once I got off of that couch and began to get some help, some counseling help, and some spiritual help, and I began to get better and to grow. And as I said, went from anorexic to weight coming on me. And I don't even know how it happened. It's just that as I began to feel better, I began to get better. As my inside got better, my outside got better. As I began to get peace in my heart, my home began to be more peaceful. And once I was able to establish that the fact that I like peace, I can keep peace. I have the ability through boundaries to say, yeah, but not up in here. This is where it won't happen. This is what I won't do. Don't know all of what I can, but I know some of that other stuff that I don't like, that doesn't fit who I am today, that I will not tolerate. And if whatever falls in that will not tolerate, I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to say, why are you thinking this way? What are you doing? What's going on with you? Why do you feel as though you're tensing up? You're not the way carefree as you were before. What's happening with you? And once I answer those questions and I'm able to realize what's taking place, now I can make an informed decision on what I want to do with my life. Whether or not I want to continue moving in this direction or whether I want to go in a different direction. Whether I want it to be me and you going together or whether I'm going to be going on my own. And so once you make those decisions, you don't have to completely obliterate relationships. You can simply decide that you want to do it differently. You don't have to, again, throw the baby out with the bathwater. But by developing some boundaries, you can determine what part of this I do want to keep. What of this is worth maintaining, and then move forward from there. And once you begin to do that on a number of areas, whether it be physical, emotional, social, financial, or spiritual, you begin to work in all of those areas. All of a sudden, the days are brighter, it's sunnier. You're doing better. You're healing. People are saying, oh, you look so good. I can tell what's going on in your life. And because you put something in and you're not dealing with the stagnation of just swirling stuff, now you have something that you can contribute. And once you begin to contribute, you again come up with an area and a boundary to say that I can tolerate this, but not that. When you get to that point of self-actualization, of realizing that things are beginning to come to pass, now you're at a place where you can begin to affect the environment around you, that you can make changes around you, from your home to your community, to your state, to the nation, to the world. There are diamonds in you, and we're going to keep digging, and we're going to get them out.